today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the BenQ EW2880U 28-inch 4K computer monitor. I did receive this product to review, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's the retail box and packaging. Check out that beautiful product photography. On the side, we have a couple quick tech specs. IPS panel. We have full 4K resolution at 3840 by 2160p. We have dual 3-watt speakers, HDRi technology, which is proprietary to BenQ, AMD FreeSync, and 90% DCI P3. Let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents besides the monitor itself. First, we have our product literature, followed by the included cables, power cable, HDMI cable, USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. Next, we have an included remote control. Check it out, all the different control options and buttons we have. Next, we have the stand. So this is in 2 pieces. It's gonna have a nice tool-free installation. Look at how good that looks right there for us. I love the color that we have here. Now let's go ahead, let's look at the monitor. Here's a look at the monitor from the back side, front and center with the BenQ logo and branding. Right underneath, this is where we're gonna install the included stand. Looks like we got some VESA mount options as well if you want to bring your own stand. We have all of our different menu buttons and power button and controls right there. We have our Kensington security lock. Let's go ahead, let's flip it up. You can get a feel looking at it this way for how thick the monitor is. All of our different ports and I/O options, so power connector, 2 HDMI, 1 display port, 1 USB Type-C, and our headphone jack. We have our dual 3-watt speakers, our light sensor. Let's look at it from the side. So same thing, get a feel for how thick the monitor is. We'll look at it from the very top. The other side, gonna be identical, just this side has the buttons on it. And now we'll look at it from the front. Again, 28 inches measured diagonally. We have our HDRi button down here, BenQ logo and branding. I really like the color on the bottom bezel. You can see the light sensor. And then we basically have a bezel-less design for the sides and the top. I can look in the light. That's about where the pixels end on the screen, where my fingertip is. So follow that all the way around there. Now let's go ahead, let's get the stand installed. So the stand comes in 2 pieces. The first step is to attach them together so they're only gonna fit into each other one way. So line them up as shown, there we go. Let's flip it over, and now we just have to connect them together with the threaded screw here. And we don't have to use any tools, just finger tight, there we go. Now there is an option if for some reason you wanted to use a Phillips head screwdriver or you can't get this, loose or something like that. We have the option there to use a tool, but tool-free installation. We now have the stand set up, and this is heavy duty. This is really a nice base for the monitor. Now we need to attach it to our panel. So we have these 2 metal tabs up at the top. They're just gonna slide right in here, and then it'll snap in place at the bottom. So there we go, we got that nice snap. And now the stand has successfully been set up. So with this stand, we have a height adjustment option. So there's the maximum height. There's our minimum height, or we could land somewhere in between. It supports its own weight too, which is nice. We have some tilt, so we can tilt it slightly forward and we can tilt it back. How about you see that from the side here? So there's our tilt all the way forward, all the way back. And then lastly, we have the ability to rotate this. We can pivot it to the left and to the right some. But unfortunately, there's no ability to change it from our horizontal or landscape viewing experience to a portrait or vertical viewing experience. I'm not sure why. This stand is sweet, and it could totally support that if they wanted to engineer that with this. So I'd like to see that in the future, but I'm glad that we have the ability to adjust the height and rotate it some to the left and to the right, and obviously adjust the tilt as well. Now we have the monitor plugged in, powered on, and connected via HDMI to our desktop PC. Let's go over the menu settings. So we're gonna press the button on the back to bring up our little quick menu. Let's go into the full menu. First up, we have our different input options. So 2 HDMIs, USB-C, and DisplayPort. Next, we have our picture settings right here. You can see everything we're able to adjust and set up and tweak. Color settings, we can choose our color mode. We have different color modes. HDR mode. So we have Cinema HDRi, Game HDRi, or HDR. Color Temp Advanced. Our audio settings, again, we have built-in speakers, and we can even choose our audio mode. Adjust the volume, quickly mute it. Then we have our eye care tech right here. So you can tweak that depending on your preferences. Low blue light modes as well. Pretty cool. We can set our 2 custom keys. And lastly, we can view all of our system information right here. Turn our LED indicators on or off. We can view the info. So currently we are at 1920 1080 at 60. The optimum resolution is 3840 by 2160. And then lastly, we can reset anything as needed. Now let's go ahead and let's change our resolution to 4K. So in our Windows display settings, we changed it to the recommended resolution of 3840 by 2160p. So now we have full 4K resolution, and our refresh rate is 60 Hertz. That is the max refresh rate supported with this monitor. Now let's take a look at the different color mode options we have for the monitor. So currently we're looking at standard, low blue light, game, Rec 709, we got our M-Book, color weakness, and user settings. Let's cycle through those quickly again so you can see them all in the same scene. So they each tweak the image as you would expect, so choose whatever one works best for you, what you prefer. I like standard, but honestly, if I was playing a game right now, I think the game mode looks great. And then we can choose different, subcategories depending on if it's FPS, RPG, or racing game. So just tweak that depending on, again, what looks best to you. Then we have our different HDR modes. So currently it's off. Then we have Cinema HDRi, followed by Game HDRi, and just regular HDR. We'll cycle through them. So it's on, off, Cinema, Game, HDR. I mean, look at those settings. I really like how the HDR looks. So you got a couple different options there as well. Really quick, I want to talk about the BenQ Brightness Intelligence Plus technology that's featured in this monitor. They do have a nice piece of product literature that you can read to learn more about it, but I want to show you how to turn it on and that it actually works. So here we go. We're going into our menu. We're going to go down to Eye Care. We're going to choose BI Plus, make sure that it's turned on. Once it's on, we have the option to turn on the light meter, which is what you want to do. That's down here. We can also adjust its sensitivity depending on the results that you're seeing. But there we go. We have it on. Now watch what happens as I cover the sensor. It thinks it's going to be a darker environment, right? So now we have our eye icon right there. Our brightness is all the way down. We can let go, and now it's reading the room. It's basically instantaneous, right? That's very responsive. It's going to detect the ambient light level, read the color temperature, and then make proper on-screen adjustments for us on our behalf, adjusting the brightness and color temperature of the display. With 28 inches in full 4K resolution, browsing the web is really nice with this monitor. So first up, we have the YouTube trending page right here where you can see popular and trending videos. Just wanted to show you how everything displays, the thumbnails, the image quality, how clear and crisp everything is. We can also watch a 4K video right here. We'll watch a couple of seconds. And down here, we have the 4K quality selected. Pretty stunning footage, if you ask me. Look at that, so much screen real estate. We can also use this monitor when we're browsing the web. Maybe we want to catch up on some news. So we got The Verge pulled up, a popular tech blog. Same thing. Look at how clear, crisp, responsive everything is right here. Let's just click on an article, see how it loads, get a feel for the different fonts, headers, headings, all the links, the ads, the images. A lot of stuff right here. Details are great. And then lastly, who's not shopping online these days? So we got Amazon pulled up. See how Amazon looks. Browse all the different products and listings right here. So really enjoyable experience browsing the web on a nice large display like this with a fantastic resolution. Now we have the UFO test pulled up on our display right here, showing us 3 different FPS values being displayed at 60 Hertz and 4K resolution. So look at how choppy and shaky and staggery that 15 FPS value is. And look at how smooth the 60 FPS value is. And this increases on. So if you're buying a monitor like this for gaming, the sweet spot, in my opinion, is around 144 Hertz. And if you can push 144 FPS with your system, that is a great price to performance compromise, I should say, that you would make for gaming. 60 FPS at 60 Hertz is basically bare minimum today. And you can tell why it matters to be able to have a higher refresh rate for our monitor, so we can push more FPS values to give us that smoother footage like you're seeing with the alien going across the top versus the bottom. Now it's time to take a look at the input lag on this monitor. Now keep in mind, input lag is different from response time. Per BenQ's website, this has a 5 millisecond response time G to G. So that G to G means gray to gray. That's the amount of time it takes the pixel to change from one color to another or one shade to another. With input lag, we're measuring the delay between when a signal is sent versus when it's displayed. Basically, that's what this comes down to. So let's see what sort of results we're getting here. All right, look at that. About 1 millisecond, 1.1 milliseconds for our input lag. For an IPS panel like this, not bad at all. That's really right around what you can expect. I think some of the lowest we've ever tested were around 0.5 milliseconds. Usually that's going to be a TN panel, but anything around 1 millisecond, it would never be noticeable to the average person. I might even argue a professional gamer might not even notice if it's at 1 millisecond for the lag, but all of those milliseconds do matter if you are going to use this competitively for gaming or something like that, which chances are you're probably not, but it's nice to see that you're not going to experience any delay. Now it's time to test out the built-in dual 3-watt speakers. I'm really excited to hear how they sound on this monitor because I've reviewed a couple of BenQ Mobius monitors that have the best sounding monitor speakers I've ever heard. Basically, it's like a mini sound bar on them. I actually have one right here. This is a BenQ Mobius monitor, and I love the sound. That's why I'm still using this monitor here at my workbench. So let's go ahead, let's play a couple of seconds of our Music Chef song. Music Chef is home to free stream-safe music for content creators. Volume's maxed at 50. Not bad. $25, so half down. All the way down, and let's bring it all the way back up. So they sound good, way better than your average monitors, built-in speakers. Are they as good as the BenQ Mobius line of monitor speakers? I would say they're not as rich or full, but they're not bad. I would use it as is without any additional computer speakers myself. And obviously, if you don't want to, but you're in a pinch somewhere and you have to, you'll appreciate having these speakers in this monitor. Now let's talk about the color accuracy of this monitor. Keep in mind, these tests are not official in any way. These are just the findings that we got using DisplayCal. We don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of testing equipment that's available to a brand like BenQ. So we're showing a gamut coverage of 98.1% sRGB, 75.6% Adobe RGB, and 82.2% DCI-P3. Now, BenQ advertises 90% DCI-P3. I'm making the assumption that they mean gamut coverage, but it is possible they could mean volume. But we're close to that. We didn't hit that metric, but again, these are unofficial results just that we conducted. In regards to gamut volume, we got 116% sRGB, 79.9% Adobe RGB, and 82.2% for DCI-P3. So we got identical readings there. So in our case, neither one hit the 90% metric that was advertised, but again, this is in an unofficial capacity. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, what's this monitor like for gaming? Well, we got Forza 5 up on the display right now at full 4K resolution, and it is beautiful. We're listening to the audio from the game from the built-in speakers, and we have 60 FPS set. Look at this. Look at how nice this is. So just pay attention to the car, the reflections, the glare, the lighting conditions, the shadows, all of that stuff. We'll have some fun here too. Let's turn on Game HDRi. There it is. And then regular HDR. So definitely noticeable if you want to enable HDR and do some gaming. You'll enjoy having a couple different options here to configure however you want. Now we got raindrops. Look at that. Everything looks so nice. Now we're looking at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Full 4K resolution, 3840 by 2160p. I'd say we're averaging around 60 FPS. Pay attention to the landscape here. Look at all the different colors and details. The motion of the characters moving around, the fires, the smoke. Obviously, your results will vary depending on the specs and the system that you're using to be able to drive full 4K gaming at 60 FPS. So for this footage, I'm seeing a little bit of sputtering here or there. Again, that's going to be our GPU, not the monitor itself. The water looks nice, the clouds. We can do the same thing here. Turn our HDRi on, cycle through. Up to you which mode you want. I think the regular HDR looks fantastic. Look at that scenery, I love it. Don't worry, you next-gen console players, I haven't left you out or forgotten about you. We have the PlayStation 5 connected. We're looking at our video output information. We're getting 3840 by 2160p at 60 hertz. So let's check out some gameplay footage. So we got Fortnite pulled up right here. Everything's looking splendid on our PlayStation 5. We'll move around quickly here and get an idea. Fast movements and motion, how it handles everything. We'll chop this tree down too. We'll open a chest. And we'll fire our weapon. But really responsive. Resolution looks great. Nothing wrong with 60 FPS here with our 60 hertz. Definitely enjoyable gaming on this, whether you're using a console or a PC. So there's a lot to love about this BenQ monitor. I think the screen size is on point. I always say 27 inches is the optimal size, at least in my opinion and experience. Sometimes 32 inches just feels a little bit too big right at your desktop sitting so close to it. But 28 or technically 29, 30, that might actually be the true sweet spot. So I like the 28-inch screen size, especially if you're only going to go to a one monitor setup. You'll appreciate having that. 4K is really nice as always. Even if you don't want to take advantage of it right now, it's there for you in the future. Sure, I'd love to see 4K 120 on this monitor, but that's not really a realistic expectation. That's going to basically double the price point of this monitor and completely change the product category and segment that it's competing in. So, changes I actually want to see made to this monitor are as follows. increase the speaker quality, make it more like the BenQ Mobius lineup because those sound so good. I'm so spoiled by them. I want to see that same great technology in this monitor. Second thing is I really like the stand on this monitor, but they definitely missed by not giving us the ability to have our vertical or portrait viewing experience for such a nice stand and a complete setup. I'm disappointed that that isn't there with this monitor, but it looks great. It works great. The resolution's beautiful. The audio's good enough, I'd argue, with the built-in speakers. I'm glad that we have built-in speakers. Other than that, if I'm being really critical, maybe give us a couple of USB ports as well. Again, really gear it towards the productivity user, businesses, creative professionals, people that would appreciate having that ability. But overall, really a solid choice in my opinion if you're looking for a decent 4K monitor that's going to give you high quality image, playback, color accuracy, all the above. You'll really enjoy using a monitor like this.